Hey, Brian from SnakeBytes here. I get tons of emails asking about the corn snake experiment, the Black Niles. So I figured we'd take a show and update you on all the cool projects. You're watching SnakeBytes. I get messages all the time about specific projects that we're working on here at BHB, but the three that get the majority of the inquiry are the Nile monitors, the corn snake feeding experiment, and my boa constrictor project. So I figured I'd take some time and kind of update you guys on how those projects are going, starting with the night Niles. I've actually moved them in my office here so I can check them out, and I gotta tell you, it's really super cool because they're so intelligent. They come out and they literally are like checking you out. So we just moved them in these tubs with these simple screen tops. We have some heat emitter lights on so they have a really good hot spot in here, and just a hide box and some water. I tell you what, these guys are eating and growing super good. They're still not taming out super well, but you can see how big they're getting compared to when they were babies. And these guys will eat little small mice, chicken livers, all kinds of different things. And you know, they're starting to mellow out a little bit, but trust me, once they get going, they're just like lightning. I try to handle them as much as I possibly can because again, when these guys get, 5 foot long, I certainly don't want a mean or aggressive Nile monitor. And so there's a lot of work that's going into these guys. I guess they're taming out relatively well, or as well as can be expected, but again, they're just a beautiful animal. And these cages are probably only going to last a few more months, and I'm going to have bigger cages. Maybe I need a bigger office.
So I've been watching the news lately, and we've all seen this crazy weather that's been happening, with the earthquake that hit Virginia, and then the flooding that went through New York, which never happens. So I want to know what you guys think. Is it just a coincidence that all this crazy stuff is happening at once, or is something different going on? Leave a comment below and let us know what you think.
Well, we kind of dropped the ball on the corn snake experiments as far as keeping you guys up to date, but we are continuing to do the experiment ourselves. Now after several months, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, basically tell you what we found, and also get the animals on the regimen that we think is best for them. I'm going to start with the animals that we fed smaller meals about twice as often. And as you can see, they grew, but they didn't grow a whole lot. So I was a little bit disappointed with this group. I really thought this group was going to do a lot better. What was interesting is that the next group grew kind of a modest amount. You can see it's quite a bit bigger than the first group. This was the group that got fed once a week, pretty much normal meals to its gram weight. Like I said, they did pretty well. I was happy with their growth. Now this is the one that was really interesting, guys. The ones that ate normal meals once a week but got vitamins, on average grew about 10 to 15% larger than the animals without vitamins. Now I've always been an advocate of not giving vitamins to snakes, but after this experiment, I actually think vitamins do help in the vitality of the animal. And there's even some people that will say that the animal's color will be a little bit nicer. I haven't really noticed that, but nevertheless, vitamins kind of surprised me. But there's no doubt that the winner of this group, which isn't that big of a surprise to me, was the animals that got fed big meals. And again, you can see the difference between the very first animals that were getting small meals more often and the animal that got big meals once a week. There's quite a bit of a difference. Now again, I don't think that it's unhealthy to grow your animals slower, so we continued on with the experiment, but I probably will increase the size of the food to all these groups now to try to get some better growth. So anyways, that's basically a wrap. Big meals one, medium meals with vitamins was second, normal meals was third, and small meals was fourth. People ask me all the time to showcase boas more on the show, and they ask me how my boa projects are going. The truth is, I really love boa constrictors. I'm still not putting a ton of energy into them, but I do have some neat animals I'm looking forward to breeding. Just stuff like these coral albinos, which again aren't like super cutting edge, but they're really beautiful animals. I have a bunch of really nice sunglow boas. Or like this Arabesque het for albino. We bred her to a sunglow and produced some incredible sunglow Arabesque. So I'm looking forward to that more next year. I really like these Sunset Hog Island boas. They're just really extremely beautiful. The oranges that come out of them are just incredible. These aren't like the Hog Islands of years ago that stayed 4 or 5 foot. The Colombian influence that only added a lot of size, but in my opinion, added a lot of beauty to the animal too. Let's see what else I've got. This is that Sunglow Arabesque I was talking about that came from that Arabesque het albino. Happens to be my favorite boa in the shop. Again, I'm not super cutting edge when it comes to boas, but it's pretty cool to see animals as pretty as this one. I'll show you a couple other adults. Again, it was like I said, I don't have cutting edge boas. I just have kind of some nice, neat ones. This is a cool hypo het for albino. Again, you know, I love Sunglow boas. It's one of my favorite boas, so I have a bunch of this type of stuff that I can breed to. I'm going to give it a go this year, and I'm going to see if I can't be successful. I've basically given it everything I've got. Again, this is one of my big Sunglow males that hopefully will be one of my studs this year because he's just a gorgeous animal. And I raised this guy up from a little baby. He's about 5 years old now, and he's already fathered a few clutches, so hopefully he's going to be good for me coming up here. And as a matter of fact, even speaking of the Sunglows, get in there, buddy. I have even aneries that are het for albino as well, so hopefully we can get some moon glows. I'm going to go ahead and take them to Sunglow. Again, I'm not going to go out on a limb and really go crazy into boas because I'm more of a python and colubrid guy, but I really hope I'm successful, and if I am, I'm definitely going to expand more into them.
You know that little GIMP skill challenge you had last week? It involved no skill. That's why you won.
Okay, I'm sure. I beat you at your own game. Name the challenge, and I beat you at it.
Well, let's handle king rats.
Let's do it.
I'll handle it for 15 seconds.
I'll handle it for 20.
25.
30.
Okay, let's both handle it for 30 seconds, but I'll do it better.
Let's go.
Is that the... Oh. He's pissed off.
All right, 30.
Start counting. Are you counting?
Yep, it's been 10 seconds.
Alright. Look at that.
You're not even holding it though.
Yeah, that's holding.
You're bull. That's sticking your finger to what it is. Hold up.
I am. You want me to get bit. I don't want to get bit.
Oh God, now I know why I want a skills competition.
Why? Because he's
All right, that's time.
See the way I handle them?
Okay, time starts now.
The way I handle, they don't get scared. Look, I can pose with them. See, I don't handle them like you do. I don't handle them by the butt like you. Whoa! That's called flare, like ice skating. You know, you get more points for flare. Look at this.
You kiss it?
Can you kiss my? I got an idea. Since I kind of want that because with my flair, the way I handle, the way I move, but you're still whining about it. How about we have a Satan contest?
Let's do it.
Who goes first?
I think you can have this one.
Help me open the tub. Where's the head?
Oh.
Oh, shut up! Oh. Ready? We'll just open her up a little. Then we'll get her back in, hopefully.
Ooh. Let me do this.
You want this side?
My finesse. No, I want this side.
Well, give me the stick!
I'm getting this.
Let's call it even. Get her back.
Sounds good to me.
Truce.
Truce.
Let's go to break.
So it was a really close contest. Lots of people love green tree pythons, but in the end, carpet pythons edged them out. So they're gonna go up against the ball pythons in the semifinals. But today, we've got to look at another quarterfinal in the Snake Bites death match, and that's corn snakes and king snakes. Corn snakes are definitely a formidable foe in this contest. They're a really awesome animal and have been part of the pet trade for years and years. As a matter of fact, corn snakes are really the animal that I attribute the boom of the snake trade, because way back 20 years ago, that was the animal that people were breeding and the very first mutations were really being made by these guys. Now that there's hundreds and hundreds of mutations, they're certainly an awesome animal. Not to mention, the majority of those mutations are very affordable, under $100 in most cases. They're super tame, they eat really well, and again, they breed good. It's going to be hard, but let's go ahead and look at some Cal Kings. Now, when I'm talking about king snakes, I'm talking about all king snakes, so Cal Kings, Brooks Kings, Mexican Kings, you name it. And I tell you what, I think that they're a really underrated type of snake. Corn snakes get a lot of pub when it comes to colubrids, but king snakes are really cool. They typically eat a whole lot better as babies, and as adults, you can see they're still super tame. And the color morphs in Cal Kings and Brooks Kings almost rival corn snakes. Not quite, but almost there. So if you want a snake that gets a little bit bigger, is a really aggressive feeder, but still a really tame, placid animals, king snakes are definitely a good option. All right, so the rules are the same, guys. Go ahead and comment down below what you think, a king snake or a corn snake, and tell me a little bit about why, and we'll tally up the votes Sunday at midnight, and the winner moves on. For this week's Comment of the Week, the question was, what was the coolest movie you saw this summer? And JMSQ45 said,
Planet of the Apes was decent. It had the best CGI to date, but as far as the storyline goes, it started off strong and kinda went downhill from there. And shouldn't there be a DQ in the water chug? You said go when I say go, then you said 1, 2, 3. What happened to the go? LOL.
Yeah, I totally like Planet of the Apes. I thought the CGI was incredible, but you're right, the storyline was a little bit weak, and that's why Lori, my wife, really didn't like it at all. And you totally got me on the DQ and that chug contest. I guess my prospects of being a game show host are pretty diminished now. Hey, I want to make sure you guys check out NARBC.com. That's going to be the shows that we'll be going to over the next few months. They're really an awesome organization. Until next time, this has been Snake Bites.